వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ 2008 లో స్థాపించిన కళాశాలలో MBA, NAC A గ్రేడ్ మరియు ISO సర్టిఫికేషన్ సాధించిన మొట్టమొదటి కళాశాల శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ త్వరలో అటానమస్ కాబోతోంది. 2014లో ISO గుర్తింపు, 2015లో రాష్ట్ర ప్రభుత్వంచే A గ్రేడ్, 2016లో NAC A గ్రేడ్, ఇప్పుడు NBA సాధించిన సంస్థ శ్రీ ముత్తవరపు వెంకటేశ్వరరావు కాలేజ్ ఆఫ్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ.
So in the last class, we discussed about the Doppler effect and continuous wave radar, how the Doppler effect is defined, and block diagram of a continuous wave radar, okay, and frequency response characteristics of a continuous wave radar, etc. Now we are going to discuss about the isolation between transmitter and receiver. Isolation between transmitter and receiver. Here, if you see the radar, only one antenna is there. This will act as both transmitter as well as receiver. So we have to separate this transmitter as well as this receiver. Okay, a single antenna serves the purpose of transmitter and transmission and reception in continuous wave radar. In principle, a single antenna may be employed since the necessary isolation between the transmitted and received signals is achieved via separation in frequency as a result of Doppler effect. Here, a single antenna may be employed since the necessary isolation between the transmitted and received signals is achieved via separation in frequency as a result of Doppler effect. Based on the range of the frequency only, we can say that this one is the transmitted frequency and this one is the received frequency. Based on the difference of the frequency only, we can say that this is transmitted frequency and received frequency. That is the definition of Doppler effect. Okay, in practice, it is not possible to eliminate completely the transmitter leakage. So we have to eliminate the transmitter leakage here, but in practice, it is not possible to eliminate the transmitter leakage. The transmitter leakage is not always undesirable. A moderate amount of leakage entering the receiver along with the echo signal supplies the reference necessary for the detection of Doppler frequency shift. Okay, a moderate amount of leakage entering the receiver along with the echo signal supplies the reference necessary for the detection of Doppler frequency shift. If a leakage signal is sufficient magnitude were not present, a sample of the transmitted signal would have to be deliberately introduced into the receiver to provide the necessary reference frequency. Here we have two practical effects which limit the amount of transmitter leakage power which can be tolerated at the receiver. First one is the maximum amount of power the receiver input circuitry can withstand before it is physically damaged or its sensitivity reduced. Reduced means burnout. So first drawback is so here the first practical effect is the maximum amount of power the receiver input circuitry can withstand before it is physically damaged or its sensitivity reduced. That is the first effect. And second one is the amount of transmitter noise due to hum, microphonics, stray pickup and instability which enters the receiver from the transmitter. The amount of transmitter noise due to hum, the amount of transmitter noise due to hum, microphonics and stray pickups and instability which enters the receiver from the transmitter. The additional noise introduced by the transmitter reduces the receiver sensitivity. Okay, so the additional noise introduced by the transmitter reduces the receiver sensitivity. The transmitter noise in Doppler radar includes those noise components that lie within the same frequency range as we called as Doppler frequencies. The greater the desired radar range, the more stringent will be need for reducing the noise modulation accompanying the transmitter signal. The receiver of the pulsar radar is isolated and protected from the damaging effects of the transmitted pulse by the duplexer, which short circuits the receiver input during the transmission period. Here at the receiver side, the duplexer short circuits the receiver input during the transmission period. During the transmission period, the role of the duplexer is short circuits the receiver input. Okay, turning off the receiver during the transmission with a duplexer. Here we are introducing duplexer to short circuit the receiver input. So turning off the receiver during the transmission with a duplexer is not possible in continuous wave radar, since the transmitter is operated continuously. It is a continuous wave radar, so transmitter operates continuously. Okay, isolation between transmitter and receiver might be obtained with a single antenna by using a hybrid junction or circulator transiile junction or with separate polarization. Okay, so how it is possible to separate the transmitter and receiver? Here we have to use the hybrid junction or circulator or magic T with separate polarizations. Separate antennas for transmitting and receiving might be used here. Separate antennas will be used for transmitting and receiving with the help of this hybrid junctions such as the magic T of order 20 to 30 dB. Those are having those junctions are having separate polarizations. Okay, so the amount of isolation which can be achieved between the arms of practical hybrid junctions such as magic T, retrace, or short slot coupler is of the order of 20 to 30 dB. The largest isolations are obtained with the two antennas, one for transmission and other for reception, physically separated from one another. Okay, separate antennas will be used. Largest isolations are obtained with two antennas, one for the transmission and another for the reception. These are physically separated from one another. Isolations of the order of 80 dB more more are possible with a high gain antennas. If we take high gain antenna only, then only we can obtain the isolations of order 80 dB or more. The more directive and antenna beam and greater the spacing between antennas, the greater will be the isolation. So if the isolations of higher order, how to get the isolations of higher order? The distance between the transmitter and receiver will be more. Between the transmitting antenna and receiving antenna will be more, so that we will get the greater isolation. Okay, the additional 10 dB of isolation must be obtained here. Okay, the phase and amplitude of the leakage signal can vary as the antenna scans, which results in cancellation. So therefore, when additional isolation is necessary, additional 10 dB isolation is necessary, in high power continuous wave tracker illuminator, a dynamic canceller can be used that senses the proper phase and amplitude required for nulling signal. So additional 10 dB if additional 10 dB isolation is required, then we'll go for the high power continuous wave tracker illuminator or a dynamic canceller. These can be used that senses the proper phase and amplitude required for nulling signal. So dynamic cancellation of the leakage of this type of feed through nulling can exceed 30 dB. Okay, so here we are using the duplexer. We have to use the duplexer. Duplexer, what is the role of duplexer here? Duplexer will short circuit the receiver input during the transmission period. Okay, but in practically it is not possible. So that's why we will use The hybrid junction circulators like Magic T, Retrace, short slot coupler these are of the order of 20 to 30 dB. So we have to use two antennas, one for transmitting side and another for receiving side. Those are having separate polarizations and high VSWR and separate antennas, and these two will be separated. The distance will be these two transmitter antenna and receiver antenna will be large, so that we will get the large amount of isolation. Then the dynamic cancellation of leakage also we have to consider. Dynamic leakage of cancellation is possible by using high power continuous wave tracker illuminator, a dynamic canceller, and a dynamic canceller. These can be used that senses the proper phase and amplitude required for nulling signal. Okay, this is about the isolation of transmit isolation between transmitter and receiver. Okay, then we are going to discuss about the non-zero IF receiver. Non-zero IF receiver. This is also called as a intermediate frequency receiver. Non-zero IF receiver or intermediate frequency receiver. See, this is the diagram of non-zero IF receiver. Non-zero IF receiver. This is the block diagram of a continuous wave Doppler radar with non-zero IF receiver, sometimes called as a, this is also called as a sideband super heterodyne receiver. Sideband super heterodyne receiver. So sideband super heterodyne receiver are intermediate frequency receiver. Intermediate frequency receiver, or it is a non-zero IF receiver. Okay, see the black diagram. So continuous transmitter having the frequency f naught, radiating the frequency f naught from the antenna, transmitting antenna is there, and mixer is there, oscillator, uh, and sideband filter is there, receiver mixer, having the antenna also, IF amplifier, second detector, Doppler amplifier, and finally indicator will be there. So here, separate antennas are considered for transmission and reception. Here, separate antennas. Here, if you see the diagram, we have two separate antennas are there. So one is corresponding to continuous wave transmitter, and another one is corresponding to receiver mixer, having the frequency f naught. Transmitter, continuous wave transmitter antenna is having the frequency f naught, and whereas receiver mixer having the antenna with frequency f naught plus or minus ft. So separate antennas are considered for transmission and reception. A portion of the transmitted signal mixed with a locally generated signal, or frequency equal to that of receiver, IF is used to derive the required local oscillator or reference signal, unlike in conventional super heterodyne receiver. The narrowband filter is used to select one of the sideband as a reference signal from the output of mixer. Here sideband filter is there, so it supplies the frequency f naught plus fi FIF, F naught minus FIF. Okay, a narrowband filter is used here to select one of the sidebands. These are the sideband frequencies F naught plus FIF, and F naught minus FIF. Mixer will produce these frequencies. So the output of the mixer is these sidebands F naught plus FIF, and F naught minus FIF. Okay, so the narrowband filter, sideband filter is narrowband filter is used to select one of the sideband as a reference signal from the output of the mixer, which contains two sidebands on either side of the carrier and higher harmonics. So F naught is at the middle one, then either side of the bands are F naught plus FIF and F naught minus FIF. So this will select the narrowband filter, that is a sideband filter, selects one of the bands of the mixer output. The receiver mixer is used to translate It is used to translate the received frequency with obtained reference signal, which is used to translate the received frequency with obtained reference signal. So the resulting signal passed through an IF amplifier. The resulting signal passed through an IF amplifier and further into detector circuit. Here second detector is there. So further into detector circuit to detect the Doppler frequency shift, and thereafter a proper amplifier circuit is used to increase the strength of the signal. So the resultant signal from the sideband filter, that is the narrowband filter, passes through an IF amplifier and further into detector circuit to detect the Doppler frequency shift, and thereafter a proper amplifier circuit is used to increase the strength of the signal. An indicator, here the indicator is used as a display. It is like a CRO, a display or PPA display is used to find the Doppler frequency shift FD. Okay, is used to find the Doppler frequency shift FD. So this is about the diagram of our continuous wave radar with non-zero IF receiver. Non-zero IF receiver, or it is also called as intermediate frequency receiver, or it is also called as sideband super heterodyne receiver. Sideband super heterodyne receiver. Next, coming to the comparison of non-zero and zero IF receivers. What is non-zero and zero IF receiver? Comparison of non-zero and zero IF receivers. So, first comparison is the zero IF receiver is not as sensitive because of increased noise. So, the zero IF receiver is not as sensitive because of its increased noise at the lower intermediate frequencies caused by flicker noise. That is the one comparison. And second comparison is the reduction in sensitivity. The reduction in sensitivity has greater effect on the maximum efficiency with continuous wave radar. The reduction in sensitivity has greater effect on the maximum efficiency with radar. It will affect the efficiency of the efficiency of the continuous wave radar. And third comparison is the improvement in receiver sensitivity with a non-zero IF receiver might be around 30 dB. The improvement in receiver sensitivity with non-zero IF is around 30 dB. So these three are the comparisons between non-zero and zero IF receiver. First one is zero IF receiver is not as sensitive because of its increased noise at the lower intermediate frequencies. Okay, that is the first comparison. Next, the reduction in sensitivity has a greater effect on maximum efficiency of continuous wave radar. And third one is improvement in receiver sensitivity with a non-zero IF receiver might be around 30 dB. Now coming to the advantages. Advantages of the non-zero IF receivers are: first one is the effect of flicker noise can be reduced. Effect of flicker noise can be reduced. Now, the sensitivity of non-zero IF receiver is much higher than the simple continuous wave receiver, that is around 30 dB. Already we discussed. Next, third advantage is because of the high receiver sensitivity, it is preferred in maximum efficiency continuous wave radar. So first one is flicker noise can be reduced. Second one is the sensitivity of the non-zero IF receiver much higher than the simple continuous wave radar, that is around 30 dB, and efficiency, it is preferred for maximum efficiency of continuous wave radars because of the high receiver sensitivity. So it is preferred for maximum efficiency of continuous wave radars. It has maximum high receiver sensitivity. Okay, next coming to the bandwidths. Receiver bandwidths. Receiver bandwidths. Receiver bandwidth requirements. Okay, so one of the requirement of Doppler frequency amplifier in the simple continuous wave radar or the IF amplifier of the sideband super heterodyne is that it is that that is be wide enough to pass the expected range of Doppler frequencies. So one of the requirement of Doppler frequency amplifier in the simple CW radar or the IF amplifier of the sideband super heterodyne is that it is to be wide enough to pass the expected range of Doppler frequencies. It is wide enough to pass the expected range of Doppler frequencies. Okay, it is wide enough to pass the expected range of Doppler frequencies. In most cases of practical interact, the expected range of Doppler frequencies will be much wider than the frequency spectrum occupied by the signal energy. In most cases, the practical interact, the expected range of Doppler frequencies will be much wider than the frequency spectrum occupied by the signal energy. The use of wideband amplifier covering the expected Doppler range will result in an increase in noise and a lowering of the receiver sensitivity. See here, some drawbacks are there. So, wideband amplifier covering the expected Doppler range will result the increase in noise. Noise will be increased and receiver sensitivity will be decreased. The frequency of the Doppler shifted echo signal were known beforehand. A narrowband filters one just one just wide enough to reduce the excess noise without eliminating a significant amount of signal energy. If the received waveform were a sine wave of infinite duration, if the received signal or a received waveform is a sine wave of infinite duration, the frequency spectrum would be a delta function. Suppose a received waveform or a sine waveform of infinite duration, then the frequency spectrum becomes it is a delta function. Delta function means it exists only at one point. Okay, so frequency spectrum becomes delta function, and the receiver bandwidth would be infinitesimal. Receiver bandwidth will be infinitesimal. But a sine wave of infinite duration and an infinitesimal bandwidth cannot occur in nature. But the sine wave of infinite duration and infinitesimal bandwidths cannot occur in nature. The more normal situation is an echo signal which is a sine wave of finite rather than the infinite duration. If it is infinite signal, it will not occur in nature. Similarly, if the bandwidth is if the bandwidth is an infinitesimal, it will not occur in nature. So the more normal situation is an echo signal which is a sine wave of finite rather than the infinite duration. Assume a continuous wave radar with an antenna beam width of theta b degrees scanning at the rate of theta s degrees per second. For suppose if we assume a continuous wave radar with an antenna beam width of theta b degrees scanning at the rate of theta s degrees per second. The time on target duration of the received signal is delta equal to theta b by theta s seconds. The signal is of finite duration and the bandwidth of the receiver must be of the order of the reciprocal of the time on target theta s by theta b. See here, we are assuming the continuous radar with antenna beam width of theta b degrees scanning at the rate of theta s per seconds. Okay, but the time on target is delta. That is defined as the ratio of theta b by theta s. Theta b to the theta s seconds. But the signal of finite duration and the bandwidth of the receiver must be of the order of the reciprocal of time on target, that is 1 by delta, that is theta s by theta b. If the antenna beam width were theta degrees and if the scanning rate were suppose for example if I am changing the values, I am changing these values. If the antenna beam width were theta antenna beam width is denoted by theta b, that is 2 degrees say, and scanning rate theta s is 36 degrees say, The spread in the spectrum of the received signal due to the finite time on target would be equal to 36 by 2, that is 18 hertz. Okay, so the the receiver must be of the order of the reciprocal of the time on target. That is the finite, the signal is of finite duration and finite bandwidth is obtained uh, by substituting the values of theta s and theta b. That is 36 by 2. We can get 18 hertz. 18 hertz. That is the that is nothing but the sine wave of finite duration and infinitesimal bandwidth, finite duration and finite bandwidth of the signal with the frequency 18 hertz. 18 hertz. See here. So this is IF amplifier having the filters. Filter number one, filter two. This is a detector number two, filter number three, filter number four, up to filter number n are there. This is the indicator. So okay. So when the Doppler shifted echo signal is known to lie somewhat within a relatively wide band of frequencies, a bank of narrowband filters. These are all called a bank of narrowband filters. When the Doppler shifted echo signal is known to be lie somewhat within a relatively wide band of frequencies, a bank of narrowband filters spaced throughout the frequency range permits a measurement of frequency and improves the signal to noise ratio. A narrow band filters spaced throughout the frequency range permits a measurement of frequency and improves the signal to noise ratio. Okay, here mixer is there, IF amplifier is there. So here a bank of filters are arranged like this, so it will improve the signal to noise ratio, which is shown, the indicator will show the improved signal to noise ratio here. Okay, so here these are the bank of filters. These are spaced like this. Here we have n number of filters are there. These are spaced like this, and the response of the filters is like this. Frequency versus response is like this. So f1, f2, f3, f4 up to fn are like this. The starting from the first frequency to n frequency, if bandwidth will be like this. So the response versus frequency is like this. Okay, so first one is the block diagram of IF Doppler filter bank, which enhances the signal to noise ratio because of this narrow band uh, uh, small distance spaced filters are arranged. Okay, and the second one is frequency response characteristics of Doppler filter bank. The bandwidth of each individual filter is wide enough to accept the signal energy, but not so wide as to introduce more noise. So this will reduce the noise. Noise will not be introduced here. The center frequencies of the filters are staggered to cover the entire range of Doppler frequencies. If the filters are spaced with their half power permits overlapped, the maximum reduction in signal to noise ratio of a signal which lies midway between adjacent channels compared with the signal to noise ratio at midband is 3 dB. If the filter are spaced with their half power points overlapped, the maximum reduction in signal to noise ratio of a signal which lies midway between adjacent channels compared with the signal to noise ratio at midband is 3 dB. See here these are arranged side by side. So second one is starting from the middle of the first one. Second response is started from the middle of the first one. Okay, so these will not be overlapped here. Okay, so but the signal to noise ratio at the midband is 3 dB here. Okay, so this is the receiver bandwidth. These are all the receiver bandwidths requirements for IF amplifier. Now for IF Doppler filter frequencies. Okay, so here it will enhance the signal to noise ratio, and it is the response of the frequencies, response characteristics of the Doppler filter bank. Okay, with this we'll finish the today's session, and we'll continue and in the next class we'll continue the identification of Doppler direction. Okay, sign of the radial velocity, measurement of Doppler direction using synchronous two-phase motors. Okay, etc. Next applications of continuous wave radars, etc. Okay. So what we have discussed in today's class is isolation between transmitter and receiver. Isolation between transmitter and receiver. Next, non-zero IF receiver, or it is also called as sideband super heterodyne receiver. Okay. Next, receiver bandwidth requirements, etc. Okay.